You heard us say that the source within you, your inner being, knows where you are in relationship to everything you want, and is giving you the information that you need, is revealing it to you. You just got to get in the receptive mode. And the path of least resistance, the only reason that there is resistance on your path is because you put it there. But no worries, Source can always get around the resistance that you've put on your path. So every now and again, Esther will say, Abraham, that was just remarkable, and that was just unbelievable. She doesn't mean it's unbelievable, because as it happened, she's now believing it. She just means this was formerly unbelievable, and even now it's happened, sort of hard to believe. And we say, Esther, we keep your earth spinning in its perfect orbit, in perfect proximity with other planets. We think we can guide you to a scratch-off ticket. You all just make it harder than it needs to be. In other words, the money could be directly downloaded into your account. You wouldn't have to go through the gyrations that you go through if you believed it. Was it so specific, or was it engineered to get around the resistance that you had in place? Ooh, hear that. It was engineered to get around the resistance that you always have in place. There's always some resistance. It's okay. It's okay. Just try not to wallow in it. And because there's a part of you that still thinks that that was a little bit of chance. In other words, sort of random, and the lottery ticket's sort of random, and all sort of random, and nothing's random. Nothing's random. You're good. You're just letting it in as best you can. But when you have experiences like that, and you acknowledge them, and you make the correlation between your desire and your emotion and the inspired action that came as a result of that, before long you can begin to chart a very specific, very cognizant, aware pattern of how it unfolds. And everyone here got it. In other words, it's really easy to understand that. We'll give you a little rampage here. So here I stand in a universe that I accept is vibrationally based. And this vibrationally based universe is responding accurately to the vibrations that I emit. I now get it that what I broadcast or transmit is what sets the vibrational tone of what I receive. So what I broadcast is what I get back. So if I focus upon absence of something I want, I broadcast it and I get more absence of it back. If I focus upon something that I want and I feel joyful as I'm focusing upon it, I get the reality of that back. I'm a vibrational being in a vibrational universe, and my emotions are telling me where I stand in relationship to everything that I want all along. This is not a hard thing, you're saying to yourself. This is not a hard thing. Now that I understand law of attraction, now I understand my emotions, I understand that my work really is to follow my path of least resistance. Where does my path of least resistance lead? It leads to alignment. It leads to clarity. It leads to happiness. Everything that you want, whether it's a material object or a state of being or a relationship or a pile of money, every single thing you want because you believe in the having of that you will feel better. What we're wanting to show you is that you have a way of focusing yourself into feeling better without having that. And if you consistently focus yourself into feeling better without having that, the next natural evolution is that you will have that in its full and blossoming form. So this now reality is full of conditions. And as you focus upon the conditions, the condition, whatever the condition is, I must deal with this condition. Esther twisted her knee, pulling a very heavy suitcase, and it's been bothering her, and she finds herself focusing upon the condition of her knee. Hard not to, it hurts. Hard not to, it's slowing her down. Hard not to focus on it. It is a reality that gets her attention. But what she is realizing is she can hold the sore knee with her indefinitely by giving her attention to it. And so once something is manifested, we know it's not easy to get your attention off of it. But you got to figure out some way to get your attention off. Unwanted or unwanted will remain in your experience. Law of attraction says that it must. So conditions Some of them you want, some of them you don't want. But here's something that will serve you so well as you are beginning to understand the vibrational universe that you live in and the vibrational being that you are. Over here is a vibration that we're going to call, in as emphatic way as we can because we want you to remember it evermore, it is an unconditioned. It's an unconditioned. This vibrational reality is an unconditioned. And as you allow yourself to focus in a way that allows this non-physical vortex and your source energy, who is projecting thoughts to you about the path to what you want. Hear this. Your inner being knows where you stand in relationship to everything you want. Doesn't that please you? Your inner being knows where it is and is calling you to it. But you got to be in the vicinity in order to hear the impulses. So if you will just for a little while decide that rather than trying to change the condition so that you can feel better, instead you will ignore the condition and find some way to feel better, which will then cause the condition to change. Can you hear the difference? It is essential to deliberate creation. Focusing upon an unwanted condition sets a vibration that holds it in place. But being unconditional means using your willpower, that's the only way we would use willpower, to focus on something that feels better. There could be 10 subjects in your life that are important to you. And let's say 9 of them are going extremely well. But you could focus on the one thing that isn't going well. And as humans, that's what you usually do because you're trying to find a problem and wrestle it to the ground and kill it. This universe is based upon attraction and inclusion. When you say no to something, you're actually saying yes to the thing you don't want. Yes to something you do want brings it. No to something you don't want brings it. So here is this condition that you don't want. And as you focus upon this unwanted condition, you hold yourself vibrationally apart from what you want. So if you would decide that caring about how you feel matters, it matters so much that this condition takes a second or third or fourth or fifth place. So let's say there are 10 things in your life experience that are important to you, and that one thing isn't going well. The other 9 going well. If you would focus upon the 9 things that are going well, or even one of the 9 things that are going well, that 10th thing would have to come into alignment. It would have to. Because vibrationally, you've cleaned it up. Vibrationally, you're using the 9 things that are going well as your reason for offering your vibration, which means you're now getting impulses about everything else. You're getting impulses about the thing that isn't going well. Let's turn it around. Let's say 9 things are terrible, and 1 thing is going really well. And as you focus upon those 9 things, you feel awful. But as you focus upon the 1 thing that's going well, you feel better. So you focus on it more and more, so you're feeling better more and more. So now the other 9 things are coming into alignment because you're holding yourself in a frequency that allows the solution that you're looking for. The vibration of a solution and the vibration of a problem are completely different frequencies. So what's the point of all of this, Abraham? What's the point of all of this contrast that surrounds us? Well, the contrast causes you to identify what you want. It's really step 1 of the important creative process. If you don't know what you don't want, you can't know what you do want. So step 1 is that discerning and asking process. And that's that rocket of desire that goes into this vortex that your inner being stands and holds and summons to you all the cooperative components. The question is, are you one of the cooperative components? And the answer to that is, if you feel good, yes. If you feel not good, no. You're not being cooperative right now. So step 1 is you ask. Step 2 is Source stands there with all that you've become and summons by law of attraction to you. So the path lights up for you. The path of least resistance is very, very bright. Your inner being knows right where all of the steps are. Not just the most direct steps, but the steps that will bring you the most pleasure along the way. And hear this, more important, the most logical step that you will be able to find. So when we talk about the path of least resistance, we want you to understand you are the one who's throwing the resistance on the path. But it's okay. Your inner being still keeps calling you. And the more you get into this place where you are realizing the revelation that is being offered to you, the more that path of least resistance will clear up until in time there won't be resistance that you're tripping over. Ease and flow and fun and full and fast and life. That's how you're supposed to feel, you see. So step 1 is life causes you to ask. Step 2 is Source gathers it all up, holds the frequency of it, and calls you to it constantly. When you ask, it is given. That'd make a really good book. Oh, yeah. But the third step is what we're talking about with you. That is, you got to find the frequency. You got to practice to find it, which means you got to care about how you feel. You got to find the frequency that puts you in that place of realizing, and then you're off and running. There are no limits for you. There is nothing that you cannot be or do or have. If this time-space reality has the wherewithal to inspire within you the desire, this time-space reality has the wherewithal to deliver the full manifested goods. So what we're really talking about is you finding some way to be happy in the interim between the vibrational reality and the fully manifested reality. And don't misunderstand us. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you think, oh yeah, Abraham just wants us to get happy so we don't notice the things that aren't working out for us. But that cannot be, because when you get happy, the things that you want cannot be avoided by you. They have to come, and you will realize them. And oh, what fun it is to consciously define desire and then deliberately tune your frequency by caring about how you feel, and then getting to witness the path unfolding. Such a fun path. After a little while, you'll begin to understand that the journey was what it was all about, that the destination is fleeting. Don't misunderstand. We want you to have all that stuff you want. We want you to have every bit of stuff that you want. We want you to have it. You have come into this leading edge place because manifestation is the leading edge way. We're not trying to talk you out of your manifestations. We're just wanting you to find more joy on your way to them. And so often, the things you want beat you up because you don't have them, and then you feel some sort of discouragement or blame about why you don't. Very clever. Must be my mother's fault. It's usually what you say. I think it's my mother's fault. Should have been different early on, and I would have had a much better go of it. We say, your emotions are here and now. You have control of them here and now. Stop dredging up that old stuff that doesn't apply anymore. All of your power is here and now. It's time for you to cash in your vibrational currency.